Are you hyped about the upcoming release of Konflikt47 and just can't wait to start building and painting your own cool looking army right now? Well, then this video is especially for you. And for those who may ask, what the Konflikt47 and why should I bother? Well, it's brand new wargame by Warlord Games in the setting of weird World War II. In this timeline, everything goes wrong in the middle of the war. With the invention and development of Rift technologies, the war changed forever. And now battlefields are full of giant robots, weird monstrosities and cool sci-fi weapons. The rule set based on another famous wargame by Warlord Games, the Bolt Action. So the core rules are tried and tested and reminds me a lot about the 5th and 6th edition of Warhammer 40k, but with the addition of cool new mechanics such as the pin markers and alternating random activation. I personally played lots of Bolt Action since the release of 3rd edition and I really like this game. So, the Konflikt47 should be launched at the end of September 2025, just in a couple of days. And it's not just a rule set. The Warlord Games are actually made this spicy new starter set with lots of new plastic models. Here we got some giant robots, some cool looking powered armored dudes and even some jump pack infantry. But I can't wait it anymore. I want to start building and painting my Konflikt47 army right now, without waiting for the release of starter set. Fortunately, I have a plan, and some plastic kits from the Bolt Action will help me. With all the things I said previously, you might think that in Konflikt47 there is no room for the regular infantry with common weapon. But it's quite opposite. You absolutely can include lots of regular infantry in your army, like mortar teams, infantry squads, snipers, medics, etc. And if you're somebody like me, you'll never miss this opportunity. I mean, the regular infantry is my favorite type of troops in any game, be it a sci-fi, historical or fantasy. Seriously, I don't know why. And as my army for Konflikt47, I choose the Axis forces. I really like the look of their power armor, this weird looking tanks with spider legs, and all this necromantic theme. So, I picked some sprues from the Bolt Action German range to build my initial force. Here I have 3 sprues of Winter Fallschirmjäger and 1 sprue of Winter Grenadier, enough for 24 miniatures in total. And as you may already guess, I want to theme my army around the late autumn, early winter period. These sprues have lots of different weapon options and poses, so out of all of them I want to build one 10-man assault unit armed with the SMGs, one 6-man rifle unit with couple of LMGs for the home scoring, a sniper team, a medic team, an artillery observer and a command unit. So, now let's start building.
Every time I make some kind of kitbash, I prefer to start with the biggest unit. I want all my miniatures to look unique. So, with the limited body poses, I think it's crucial to begin with the largest unit. I mean, at this moment you still have all the bits and pieces and it's easier to create all these unique kitbashes. So, I started building my 10-man assault squad with one test mini, kinda proof of concept. I picked the running Fallschirmjäger body, then added the hands with the MP40 and the head in a Stahlhelm from the set of Grenadiers. The belt of the SMG was a bit too long, so I cut it down a bit to fit the chosen body. Next, I added on his belt all this regular infantry equipment, like bread pouch, cooking pot and canteen. All this stuff comes together in one piece, and there are lots of varieties on these sprues. So it's really easy to add some extra uniqueness to your troops. Finally, I glued the appropriate ammo pouches that suit the MP40. Now, when I'm confident in my concept, I started to cut off and clean all the details required to build my squad. And to better show the assault role of this squad and depict the general motion, I tried to use the running bodies and heads and Stahlhelms.
In a world of Konflikt47, the Axis forces were scattered in 1944, when the Allies dropped down the Rift bomb over the Dresden. So now the mysterious Greenwald rules over the German, and all the Axis armed forces were reorganized to Republic Volksgrenadiers. So I really want to show it in my conversions. Like all these soldiers were once members of different squads and now they are band together. So Due to all this chaos and bureaucracy, there is no standardized equipment now. And that's why they look like a band of misfits. So yeah, that's why I'm trying to use the parts from the different kits.
There are many characterful models in this unit, but I especially like two of them. First one, the Italian guy. I played Italian in a bolt action, so I thought it would be a cool little homage if I equip one of my Volksgrenadiers with the Italian Beretta SMG and a Bersaglieri helmet with the conic feathers. And the second one is the NCO of the squad. I want him to stand out of the rest of the squad, so I picked the grenadier's body in a greatcoat, then hat in an officer cap, and armed him with a looted PPSH. And as a final little detail, I gave him a map case. And when all the members of the assault squad were built, I put them on some spare GW25mm bases. Next to the 6-man unit with the double LMGs. In the game, most of the time this unit will be staying in my deployment zone, providing some cover and fire. So I picked a bit more static and relaxed bodies for them. Keep in mind that Fallschirmjägers have rifle ammo pouches as a separate bit, so here I'm gluing it on 4 out of 6 members. After I build 2 grenadiers with the LMGs, I want to build the other 2 as a loaders, so I found some appropriate hands holding ammo boxes and rifles in one hand. And for the last 2 members of squad, I just gave regular rifles, and the map case to make the NCO. Now all my squads is done, but I still have 8 more bodies, so I need to build some specialists. Starting with the forward observers. I glued the binoculars on the crouching body, right hand holding the STG-44, in the left hand I gave him a map. The second member of the team just regularly wielding the assault rifle. To visually tie both of the observers together, I gave them the heads in the fur caps. And for the command squad I built 2 pretty standard running guys with the STGs. For the officer I chose the body in a great coat and armed him with the epic broom-handled Mauser from the SS kit. In the game I will use him as if he armed with the assault rifle, but yeah, I think the Mauser is epic enough to be counted as an assault rifle. Next to the sniper team. I picked 2 different crouching bodies, armed one of them with a sniper rifle from the Winter American set and gave him the camo helmet from the SS kit. And for the second one I chose binoculars and a rifle on the back. Finally I built the medic. To represent the med case I used an ammo case from the Fallschirmjäger kit. Then I decided to arm him with the pistol. Unfortunately there are no right hands without the fist in a kit. So I cut the fist off from one and glued the fist with the pistol on the place. And maybe now he doesn't look like a medic. But I'll hope to fix it with the paint job. As the last preparation for the painting, I passed with the ultra-thin plastic glue over my models to remove all the plastic flakes left after the model line cleaning.
Now, when all my miniatures are built, it's finally time to give them some color. With all the kitbashes, they already look not kinda straightforward historical and a bit of sci-fi. But I want to boost this feeling with the proper paint job. I want to create my own autumn color scheme full of grays and brown tones, but I want to still it look kinda realistic. And this paint set by the army painter will help me a lot. It was designed especially to match the real colors of German World War II uniform. So yeah, basically I will just use historical accurate colors to create my own sci-fi color scheme. Sounds legit. Yeah, let's start painting.
This paint set contains 20 different colors. It's mostly regular paints with the addition of couple washes, a metallic paint and a rust effect. And it looks kinda nice. Probably I'll use almost all of them for my color scheme, excluding some blues and greens. And as always, I started painting by priming miniatures with the black primer. I prefer to apply it with the airbrush, but it's not really important. Use whatever you want. Next, I decided to apply my base color through the airbrush. I want my models to be mostly grey, so I choose the dark field grey as a base, and then applied midfield grey and a light field grey as a zenithal highlight at about 45 degrees to keep the darker tone in the recesses.
And here everything goes wrong. First, when I look at these paint bottles, I thought that the colors were much darker and grayer, but after I sprayed them, they look kinda blue-grayish with a hint of green. At first I even thought about repainting the models completely with the other colors. But why not to try and work with what I have here? Yeah, I think I can fix it with some shading. And if you want more Konflikt 47 videos just like this, hit this like and subscribe button. It really helps the channel to grow and you will get more videos just like this in the future.
So, now I finished with the airbrushing and it's time to the regular brush. As I said before, I want my grenadiers to look like a band of misfits. So, no strict uniform here, just a good old mix of colors and patterns. And first of all, I want to paint some elements in camo. I started by painting random blobs of rifle brown over the grey base coat, then highlighted them with the camo brown. Next, I painted patches of strap grey, partially overlapping my brown blobs. Finally, I placed little dots of a mid-field grey over both brown and dark grey areas. As the general pattern for this camo I choose the real-life SS camo, but to make it look more fantastical I picked completely different colors. Next I started to apply all sorts of grey, black and brown colors all over the models. I painted some greatcoats in a dark field grey, the same color was applied on some trousers. For the other ones I used rifle brown and leather brown. All the scarves and some of the helms were painted in the strap grey. Next I decided to make some helms and anorak coats white, so I started highlighting them with the light field grey over the base color. And then I added a bit of matte white to the mix. Finally, I picked all the hands and faces with the rifle brown. At this stage, numerous details such as boots, pouches and weapons are still left unpainted. So, I covered them with a green black speed paint. This color is not included in this set and you can replace it with a regular black. But I want to speed the process up a bit, so some of these details will be left just black, but in other cases I will paint them a different color. So the black here is more kind of a separation and outlining the details purposes. When the speed paint completely dried, I painted the bread pouches, shovel handles and rifle straps in a leather brown. Then I picked the sides of the canteen with the rifle brown, leaving the strap in the middle black. The same color was applied to the wooden rifle elements. Finally, I painted all the metal parts in steel. Now, all the elements of our minis were painted, but this is not enough shading, so I applied all over wash of watered down black tone, switching to brown tone for the large brown areas such as padded trousers. The wash can leave a slight glossiness after it dries, so I sprayed my minis with the matte varnish and painted the base rims black. Now I want to return some brightness and readability to my models, so I started to highlight all areas with the base colors. I left the grey elements relatively dark, but on brown and white ones I wanted to push a little more and highlight them second time with the brighter tones or by simply adding a bit of white to the original color. The face of the miniature are the natural spot of attention, so I want to spend some extra time on it, and I gradually highlight them with the different mixes of camo brown, weathered skin, camo sand and matte white. As a final touch-up I painted the eyes and applied a couple of light glazes, the common thread over the nose and mid-field grey on the chin to represent the 5 o'clock shadow.
And now my grenadiers are fully painted. And I paint them in a timely fashion. So the general paint job is kinda basic, but I know how to fix it in a fast and efficient way. I'm gonna make some cool looking autumn style bases.
So I started the basing process by applying the AK brown matte texture paste all over the bases, trying to not touch the feet of the minis as much as possible. Typically I paint over the texture paste, but in this case I perfectly fine to leave it as it is. And while the paste is still wet, put a couple of grass tufts on the bases, a dry brown and beige by Green Stuff World to be exact. The texture paste contains a little bit of glue in it, and the tufts are kinda self-adhesive, so no need for the additional PVA glue, just stuck them in the mud. Now, we need to wait until the paste is fully cured. Next I want to add some snow patches over the mud, and to do this I first mixed the AK snow sprinkles, AK micro balloons and a bit of Vallejo water effect. Then I applied the mix on the bases with the brush. Next I added a bit of pure snow sprinkles on top. And finally, I put a bit of water effect over the mud areas. Altogether, it will create a really cool look of late autumn, early winter battlefield full of mud, puddles and melted snow. In the meantime, I also finished painting half of my grenadiers. So, now it's time for the final reveal. Well, here they are, and to be honest, in the middle of the painting process I was quite unsure if the color scheme would work, but now, with the grim and beaten look, with all the smutty snowy bases, I really like how it came out. And now I'm even more excited about the Konflikt 47. I still have 12 grenadiers unpainted, and with the addition of the access part of 2 starter sets, I'm sure it will be enough for the solid beginner force. And what about you? Are you as hyped about the game as me? What faction do you want to collect in Konflikt 47? Write it down in a comment below. And that's all for today. Thanks for watching. Bye.